All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin.
All right, we are all here. Look at this. We've got a star-studded lineup here going on. We're going to be doing a whole heap of tactical analysis, and we've got the perfect blend. We've got the Chelsea Social here, ladies and gentlemen. We've got the gang from Chelsea Social. Just before I introduce everyone, I'm pretty sure you guys know everyone anyway, but just in case you don't, I would definitely introduce. But before all of that, you've got the Chelsea Social, all of their information in the description. Please follow them right away. Take this opportunity right now. Check it out, the link on the description, and subscribe to their channel. But yeah, first of all, Jay, my man, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, bro. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. It's, what is it, Tuesday night for me. So yeah, 11 p.m. Straight after this, I'm going to go to bed and relax for the night. Haji, my man, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm looking forward to this. This is something you don't do every day on YouTube. So yeah, it will be fun, I think.
Absolutely. I just thought that, as you said, we don't do this often enough. And I think this is a good opportunity to showcase this to the fan base as well and see what the fan base also thinks. Obviously we're going to get some comments come through. First of all, Mark, thank you for commenting that. Looking forward to more great content, Big Up Mix. Thank you for that. Jam, my man, how you doing?
Yeah, all good, my man. All good. Thanks for having me again. And big up the work rate from you as well. We've got to remember it's always late night when you're doing it, man. So big up.
It is, man. It is. But it is what it is, man. If you love the sport that much, you love the club that much, you got to do what you got to do. Boys, thank you so much for joining. And to everyone that's joined, thank you heaps. Obviously, please comment ahead. It's going to be a tactical analysis today, guys. We're going to talk about Tuchel's formation that he's been using so far. Let's go jump straight into it, and we'll look into the live chat very, very soon. Guys, excuse me. First of all, Tuchel's been using I know a lot of people say 3-4-3, but to be honest, I think it's really 3-2. 2-2-1 or 4-1, whatever way you want to see it. It's a bit of a mixture up front, but it's definitely a definitive 3-2 in the back. I'll go to Jay first up. Jay, looking at this formation and looking at how we set up before in the 4-3-3, why has Tuchel sort of gone into this particular formation? Obviously, he would have seen some sort of footage of our under Frank Lampard, the 4-3-3 with the lone DM and attacking eights. Why has he sort of opted for this? Was he thinking that there was some sort of imbalance in the 4-3-3?
No, I don't think it's necessarily to do with an imbalance. And, I want to start off by saying, as I've lamented this point on other shows, that I think the sort of notion of formations is something that's going to become gradually less important. But looking at this, right, you see the triangle of space that's left when you go along 7, 9, 11. There's a triangle near the left corner and the right corner of open space.
Yeah.
So to the right of those players, that is a method that Tuchel uses in training quite a lot, where he cuts off the space. So you can see that there's like triangular areas between the defenders and the corners at the back, and the attackers and the corners in the top right and left.
Yeah.
He does that in training to limit the space, and that formation, therefore, that you see in front of you, enables players to move quickly, to shift the ball from side to side, to drag defenders out into those areas where the players don't occupy, and then break through the lines. It's a very delicate way of playing, but it's really effective, and it's like an inverted form of gegenpressing that you don't see too often. And that tends to be why he's the most successful in that formation. I think also, due to the sort of bloated nature of Chelsea's squad, we have a lot of players that can work in a lot of different systems. So trying to people like to put a name to a system, usually using numbers. You can see it there, like 3-4-3, when actually very rarely do things work out in that way. There's a lot of overlap, a lot of
absolutely, yeah.
But this formation is used primarily to retain possession, to shift balls side to side, and to always have solutions to problems that particularly low block defences put against you, as we saw against Burnley, for example.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you think, I suppose, going back to the question, when Frank Lampard was using the 4-3-3, how do you sort of, basically what I'm trying to get to is, Jay, how come that formation or that style under Frank didn't look as if we were all sort of playing as one. I know there are other sort of other factors that go into it, but all of a sudden this particular way is making it seem more cohesive. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, for sure. I think that the thing with Lamps, unfortunately, is that he didn't have too much in terms of more than one or two solutions to problems. And I think he was relying on individual quality to sort those things out. Whereas what Tuchel does, and it's the same you see with Pep and Klopp and, Bielsa as well, managers whose systems are so dominant and prevalent, is that the system itself creates solutions and the players simply fit into it. That's why you see Liverpool sign players that you might not expect to be world-class but develop into world-class players because the system is catered to them specifically. And they, identify talent to bring in based off that. And that is a similar way of what Tuchel does. And as I said before, he's using the players in the squad that we have who have specific qualities in those areas that enable you to, problem solve consistently. Because at Dortmund, he used 11 different formations. At PSG, he used 8 or 9. At Mainz, he used 10 as well. So I think people need to, I said this on Lawrence's show yesterday, people need to quite quickly get over this whole chat about formations, in the sense that, why is he playing this? Why is he playing that? Because chances are throughout the game, you're going to see 3 or 4 different formations based off of what's going on. And he's sort of a football intellectual in that sense. He's a real tactician. So he's going to make sure that there's always solutions to problems. He's going to make sure that his players know how to identify those. And because I think we lack on-field leaders, I think his system and his managerial style balances out that issue.
Balances that out, yeah.
So you can see there where the triangles are cut off on the pitch. Basically, what we're doing is being able to stretch defences to get in behind and press and keep possession at the same time.
No, 100%. Jam, I want to go to you next up. I want to look into more of how we sort of set up when we were without the ball. I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm just going to drag a few players back because it's interesting to see that we've kept 2 clean sheets. Obviously, look, no disrespect to our opposition, Wolves and Burnley, especially Wolves. I don't think they even put any effort into trying to get to us. Obviously, they had few counterattacks, but nothing that was too overly outrageous. But I feel like without the ball, we're sort of like this. And I want you to sort of talk it out with me as to, how I suppose we are pressing much better than before as well. And even with Burnley in the second half, we looked so much more resolute. I don't think we've even allowed them a single. I'm not sure. I don't think that we've allowed them a single opportunity in that match for Burnley. I don't think they had one shot on target.
They didn't shoot.
They didn't shoot. So, Jam, talk to me. This is probably how it looks like without the ball defensively. And what's your thoughts? I mean, is this probably one of the reasons why we are looking far more resolute in defense?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, straight away, you've got 2 players centre mid that, before it was a lone DM, wasn't it? And I think naturally you've got more of a wall. So, if you're an attacking team and you've got 2 players in front of you, it's immediately harder to get past them than it is when you've got a lone DM that you can probably do a triangle around. Again, you've got your wing backs tracking back here. So, that was Callum Hudson-Odoi, it's Marcus Alonso. And what it means compared to before, I mean, I pick out the Arsenal game as an example. They were just doing triangles around our left back and right back. You've also got the Man City game where they're just doing triangles around Chilwell, triangles around Azpilicueta, and it was horrendous. But here we've got cover all over the pitch. So whether that's coming from, if they're attacking on the wings and it's coming from the nearest centre mid and nearest outside centre back, there are multiple players there as well as the wing back to sort of cover that space and make sure that it's difficult to sort of manoeuvre around that. Just generally speaking, I think what I will say is that Thiago Silva has been an absolute monster in both games. I think that really helps. And maybe this suits him. Maybe this suits him a lot more. I'm not saying that he wasn't playing well before, but he's just been absolutely unreal in these games. You've got Azpilicueta that likes to get forward, but obviously he's very good defensively too. And then you've got Rudiger that doesn't really get forward that much. He holds his position a little bit more compared to Azpilicueta. So I just think a 4-3-3, tackling that in general when you play, a 4-4-2 is very difficult as it is. You know, it's very hard to match up to that. We saw that with Conte when he played a 4-3-3. We were just doing teams based on our shape pretty much. But the main thing for me is that we've got cover all over the pitch. If we were to lose the ball in a transition, which happens a lot, maybe not so much in the last 2 games, but generally beforehand it happened a lot, we have got cover. We don't look as bare. So for me, that is the main thing. Having cover all over the pitch is so important.
Yeah, 100% have to agree. I feel like, I know at the end of the day, what Jay said does make sense. It's not, ultimately won't be about formation. It'll be about players understanding a particular style. But I think this structure gives us such a definitive sort of, setup. It's like the players know exactly what to do. Whereas previously, I just felt like when it was in transition, they didn't always know where they needed to be. Whereas this allows them a very definitive structure to know exactly how they need to shape up without the ball. Just quickly, an interesting comment. I always like when Haji comes along and everyone sort of gives up some really, really interesting comments. Haji, when Tammy scores against Atletico Madrid, Chelsea lose 8-1. It's quite interesting. We all know Haji's love for Tammy Abraham, but yeah, it's always funny to see these sort of comments. Haji, let's now go to you, my man. I want to now talk to you about with the ball. With the ball, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, because this is what I'm noticing. I want to know sort of what you sort of see with the ball. I'm sort of seeing, so if we go to the Burnley game, I want to play this out here, because obviously with Burnley, against Burnley, we played with Timo Werner and Mason Mount. I felt it was somewhat like so. It was more of a overload on the right side. I suppose Mason Mount was somewhere around here. Timo Werner, sort of free roll up front, and really Alonso was just up there, and obviously when he scored the goal, he was more down here, sort of making that run into the half space, and Pulisic putting the ball through to him. Is this sort of how you see the game right now, where Alonso is getting, obviously I'm talking specifically on the Burnley game, where Alonso's getting the cover from the left side with Kovacic and Rudiger, who are not really going up that much. And we're really sort of trying to overload the right side. That's why we are seeing so much attack from the right. And Callum Hudson-Odoi really finding himself, almost released on every occasion. And then at times when we saw that Spilicueta goal, we see someone like Aspie overlapping as well. So is this somewhat what you're saying? Is sort of like a lopsided on the right side?
I mean, from what I've known before, Tuchel actually used to overload on the left side. Maybe that was because he had Neymar, and that is why he overloaded on that side. Because it's like Mbappe was also like a left, like a Werner role, the role V1 wanted to play, like a left striker. So they overloaded on the left side and then switched to play to the right side. But as we can tell, Tuchel is actually overloading on the right side. And I think that when, with time, we will see a lot more diagonal passes to the left side for us to switch to play like that and try to be dangerous. So as I said, at the moment, I think that we're trying to overload on the right side. And then with time and when the players get to know the system better and tactics and everything, we're going to see, I think we're going to see Mason Mount as a key player then. Because I think that he's the perfect player to switch sides of the pitch, like to cross, hit the ball from one side to the other side. So with time, I actually can see Mason Mount being a big part of that, to just switch the side to, I mean, let's be real. I mean, this whole 3-4-3, 3-5-2, whatever you want to call it, I think he just uses that in the start to build like a good base. And then in the future, he's obviously going to change it to like a 4-3-3, maybe a 4-2-2, maybe a 4-3-2, whatever. So I think he uses this now to just implement the system and a thought into the players so they can understand him a lot better. Yeah. So as I said, I think we're overloading now, and maybe within the next 3 weeks we will see a lot more diagonal passes to the other side of the pitch in hope of also creating something dangerous.
Yeah, no, that diagonal pass does make sense, because if we continue to pursue with Alonso, let's say, we completely overload on the right side, right? And someone like Alonso sort of makes those runs coming here. obviously with Callum Hudson-Odoi making those crosses, or even Mason Mount making those diagonal passes, this man over here, which probably be Alonso, will come into handy. Definitely into what you're saying, and then obviously with the goal that we saw against Burnley as well, with smart play from Alonso coming in over here, that's added bonus as well. Jay, I want to now delve deeper into this. I want to talk about how certain players are playing into it. Obviously, Haji was saying that this formation is at the moment has been built to create a system where the players just understand what's going on, and then over the time, it will be far more flexible. But I want you to talk to me about Mason Mount. It was quite interesting to see Mason against Burnley, where he was making a lot more runs through the middle. There was several times he was penetrating through the middle, through this particular channel. And then it pretty much opens up to him to either pass it to Callum Hudson-Odoi or go left. Many times he was linking up with Callum Hudson-Odoi. And he was it felt like it was more of a free space, a free role for him, and he was just roaming around here. And obviously, without the ball, he'll drop deep and help out with the midfield. This is very, very different to what I felt he was doing under Frank Lampard, where I felt every time he was sort of lingering around these sort of positions, and he was too, easily always going towards sides and going towards the fullbacks. I feel like this role that he's playing now under Tuchel, it will just elevate him to a different level. Is that how you feel as well?
Yeah, I think so. Let's not forget that Kai Havertz will probably play there as well. So yeah. I imagine there'll be a lot of rotation between the two. But, it's quite simple to some extent, where when you have Jorginho and Kovacic that are constantly passing the ball between the two of them and looking to get into the channels, what that does, and like I said earlier, is it draws the opposition midfield either towards them or further wide, because those two have the ball, and then we have fullbacks or wing backs or whatever you want to call them that are constantly bombing up and down, and that stretches the play and then frees up the sort of free roam role that Mount was playing against Burnley. To be honest with you, I always like him as a bit more functional in the midfield. I don't see him primarily as a creator, even though he has got a lot of forward passes into the box. I think that's based off his mobility rather than his sort of creative nous, and that's why it's slightly different to Fernandes and De Bruyne, who have the ability to pass from real deep or anywhere and see things that other players can't see. I don't think Mount like that. I think also Mount gets a lot of set pieces, as do the others. But I think in that role, giving him a bit of time, giving him a bit of space, he's more industrious than the other two. I think that allows him to play comfortably, and I think for him, he'll function well in that system. I just don't think he's going to play every single game, and I think that's probably best for him as well, to be honest. So, yeah, I think it's a good positive step, and I also believe that Tuchel will really get to grips with Mount over the next 12 to 18 months.
No, 100%. I really like. I know. I completely understand what you're saying, Jay. I know you've said this a few times that you don't mind seeing Mount playing a little bit deeper, as a functional sort of midfield. I didn't mind, and I don't know, maybe if it was the opposition being Burnley, I don't know how he would fare against far bigger oppositions, but I really enjoyed that role that he played against Burnley and having that freedom in the middle to basically run around, and so many times we saw those penetrating runs. Do you perhaps see us setting up like that against Spurs, giving either Mount or Havertz the similar sort of role? How would you, just to go ahead a little bit against Spurs, how would you set up? I'm thinking it'll probably be, again, three at the back.
Yeah, I think it probably will as well. But what I like about Tuchel, and what I liked before he came to Chelsea, obviously, because I spend a lot of time. The Bundesliga is the league I watch the most, besides the Premier League, obviously. And what I like about Thomas Tuchel is he's like he manages like a box of boxes in a way, and he's able to switch between right hand and southpaw consistently. And so that means that you don't actually know how he's going to set up, and the formation that you see can often be a facade. It can just be, he's got a very strong poker face. He's able to play things, into his own hands, and that's part of the German new school way, I think. Mourinho's going to set up how you expect him to. I think they're going to sit deep. They really struggled against Brighton without Harry Kane, and that was a point that I made previously on some other channels, that the issue with Spurs and Man United to some extent is that they rely so heavily on one or two individuals that when you take that piece away, things tend to crumble, which is why I think Tuchel, Pep and Klopp are stronger managers, because they have a system rather than relying on a player. They have a football-based system rather than a player-based system.
Correct. Yep.
So Spurs are going to sit deep. I think Havertz will probably start because he got rested against Burnley. I reckon it suits Mount more to play against teams like Burnley, where it's a bit more physical. I think despite him being slightly shorter in stature, he's a stronger player than Kai is. So I think it makes more sense for Mason to play in those games. I know Ndombele is actually injured for the Chelsea Spurs game.
Is that confirmed?
Well, from everything I was saying yesterday, I was on stream with Lawrence last night, and everyone in the comments was saying Ndombele is injured. So,
wow,
it's not confirmed. Though. It's not confirmed. Yeah, I don't think it's a confirmed.
But if he's out, then that makes a massive difference, really.
Huge.
So if they've got no Ndombele and no Kane, I imagine us to have a lot of the ball. I think Alonso is going to play because, despite his weaknesses, he's unpredictable and unconventional,
and he loves the Spurs.
He loves it as well. So it's a tough one. I don't know, and I'm not gonna. I think if we try and predict lineups with Tuchel, we're gonna more often than not end up with on our face than anything else. So I'm gonna let it be, but I imagine we'll see quite a few of the same faces. I think Werner might start. I'm not sure. I'd like to see Werner start.
Yeah, me too. To be honest, me too.
Tammy had
Even though I
poor
don't
game
think he
and
probably deserves it, but yeah.
I mean, it's not. I don't know if it's about deserving things, because Tuchel's come in with such a clean slate approach. If it's about deserving, Marcos Alonso definitely doesn't deserve a start.
True.
So there's no. Werner's he just needs time and a bit of confidence, and maybe the Spurs game might not be best for him, but. There's a lot of the benefit of Chelsea's squad, despite it being bloated, is we have a lot of players that can function in multiple positions. So I spoke about this previously, where I can see, and we saw it against Burnley, Pulisic operating in a more central role. I can see Ziyech being used slightly deeper, a bit more creative in the centre, because Hudson-Odoi is going to use it, be in the channels, obviously. So we have a lot going for us. I'm not confident, because I know Mourinho's always got a card up his sleeve, and he can do something to you that you just don't expect. But we have a system that's slowly being implemented that's strong, and players in the squad that are really, really adapting to that system and warming to it very quickly. And Spurs could be missing I'd argue two of their three most important players.
Yeah.
So I think what it's going to be is we're going to have to be patient in the first half. We're going to have to control possession, dictate the play, and see how Spurs are going to come, because I don't think they're going to step out of line. I think they're going to be very rigid, and I really, really wouldn't be surprised if we see Spurs play for a point. And that's when I think we'll see Pulisic get introduced, because I don't see him starting. Maybe Ziyech, because those players that can be unpredictable and bring the pace and get in between the lines. I think if we stretch Spurs and cause them to run around a lot in the first maybe 45 to 60 minutes, then we'll go in for the kill like we did against Burnley.
Apparently, Sergio Reguilon is out as well. Wow. And he's a big outlet for them attacking-wise. Defensively, he's not that bad either, but attacking-wise, he's definitely a massive outlet. We'll definitely talk about the whole Ziyech thing, because I feel there's a lot of people that are sort of writing off, writing Ziyech off at the moment, because they think recently he hasn't been playing well. I don't think he has been superb, but at the same time, I feel like he still has those one or two key passes that just opens up the match, which is far more, as you said, Jay, it's unpredictable. Jam, you've mentioned it as well a few times, that unpredictability is so important. We will touch on Ziyech. I'll ask that to Haji and get his point of view on that. But let's go back to the board. Jam, I want to now talk to you about this whole Callum Hudson-Odoi's sensation that is happening at the moment, which is quite incredible, to be honest, the way he's sort of absolutely eating up that space on this side. And it's interesting, once again, if we sort of draw the board, this is probably what's happening at the moment, where we're overloading, and Azpilicueta is there just behind him, protecting him. People think he's an out-and-out wing-back, but to be honest, I don't think he is. He's more of a playmaker from the right, where everything seems to be going through him. If we have, say, two up top, Mason Mount over here, you got Callum Hudson-Odoi over here. Jam, the question I want to ask you, I mean, did Tuchel just sort of sum this up by looking at Callum's? Because I think he said that in one of the interviews that he saw the player's attributes and what he can bring, and he thought that it fits perfectly as a wing back. He looked at Callum and he saw his attributes and thought that he's a perfect wing back. And at the moment, he's absolutely burning everyone on that side. You know, Wolves, he took care of almost every player. Semedo, there was times where he just went around and then whipped in a cross. There were a few other crosses as well against Wolves where, honestly, our strikers, had they been a little bit more sort of, I suppose, clinical and having that sort of that hunger mentality, they could have been there for the tapping. But against Burnley, man, once again, man of the match. Your thoughts about his particular, I suppose the new, it's a new formation right now, but the role that he's playing, I mean, it's very, very impactful, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what I will say is when a team starts to lose, and this is no disrespect to Frank Lampard, because he's still a legend in my eyes, more so as a player, but when things start to get sour and the team's constantly losing, then there's a negative multiplier effect where literally everything gets sour. And it becomes hard for the players to motivate themselves. And this is what we saw, in the last few games under Frank. I think what's happened with Cal especially is, people will argue and say that Frank limited his chances, didn't play him as much as he should have. Obviously, Tuchel's come in and there's that new manager bounce. He's brought some good new energy, changed things up. And he's, giving that energy to Callum as well. And you could see it in that talk that Cal had. I think it was after after Burnley?
Where it was after the Wolves game, I think, where he was sort of giving the tactical information, right?
Yeah. I mean, the energy that Cal had there was unreal. You can see he was genuinely excited about things. And now you can see that renewed energy in him. And now what happens is he's getting chalk on his boots. And what I mean by that is he's pretty wide. So whenever he gets the ball, and he gets the ball a lot, he is wide. He's got space, and he's one-on-one quite a lot. And he is so good at beating people one-on-one and delivering or creating a chance, delivering across most of the time. I mean, we saw it where he got the ball in space against Burnley, where he took the guy inside and waited for the overlap from Aspin and slipped him in. It's brilliant. He's so good at delaying people and then beating them in some way, shape or form. Exactly.
This is what happened, yeah.
Exactly. So you look at Cal's stats and he is a top playmaker. And I think actually because we are overloading the right and we've got enough cover with this formation, and he's not necessarily, even though he does track back, he's not necessarily your conventional right wing back. I think it's absolutely perfect for Cho. He just has all the space in the world to do what he needs to do. And with that confidence, I think we're going to see great things from him, hopefully this season, as long as he remains injury free. But again, there is going to be some rotation. He's not going to play every single game, is he? So it'll be interesting to see. Perhaps Reece might play there sometimes. It'll be interesting to see. It's hard to see to say with Tuchel at the moment, but I can't wait. I'm quite excited for Cal, to be honest.
Nah, man, absolutely, man. Just going back over here, you did mention that perhaps we could see Reece. Just a quick shout out to Azpilicueta as well, Jam. How much are you? I mean, this guy, it's not like he's young anymore, but he's still doing those overlapping runs and he's helping out Callum Hudson-Odoi to really overload the right side and giving Callum either the option sometimes to, I suppose, just keep going from the wing and hit the byline, or even sometimes cut in and allowing someone like Azpilicueta to double up. I mean, how much, I suppose, the respect level for Aspi, for him to still be able to do that, yeah?
Yeah, Aspi loves it. I mean, when have we seen him play his best is in this formation, really, isn't it? He absolutely loves it. He's a player that can get forward. He picks his moments and he knows his limits. I really rate players that know their limits. And what I mean by that is he knows he may not be the fastest, but his timing on runs is pretty damn good. And it doesn't, obviously he's not going to score all the time. That's not what Aspi's strong at. I mean, that was a hell of a finish, but he arrives at a good time to provide that support, and defensively he's able to handle that kind of position as well. Getting up and down like that is something that naturally everyone thought he couldn't do anymore, just because we haven't seen it for a little while. But kind of respect to him. I mean, look at Thiago Silva. He's still going at the age of 36. Aspie's still got a few years in him yet, I think.
Absolutely, and it's a good point that you mentioned as well. Him being in sort of when he's not overlapping and he's sort of in these areas, he can still whip in the crosses for the forward players. Haji, my man, let's now talk to you about the whole situation about Ziyech, because it is interesting, because I want to know how this player will fit in, because initially when I thought about this 3-4-3, I was...
Give me a second. My sound just cut out, so I can't hear you.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
No, it's back. Go on.
So professional.
Yeah. What is this? Making us look bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, Haji, going back to this whole formation thing, because I really want to now focus on, because a lot of people have been sort of mentioning, well, how does Ziyech sort of fit into all of this? Because I was a little bit skeptic, because in a 3-4-3 or whatever, what we're doing, sort of 3-2-4-1 or 3-2-3-2, it's very difficult to figure out exactly where Ziyech fits in. If we look at the Wolves game, I think it was more like this, where there was a lone striker of Giroud. This was, I think, more Ziyech. Just put that through. If we were to play this against Spurs and have sort of, let's say, once again with Callum Hudson-Odoi, Alonso, Azpilicueta, and the normal sort of pivot, let's just say. I mean, Ziyech generally likes to roam around in these areas, Haji, but he's having to stay, I suppose, more in these sort of areas. Do you sort of see Ziyech's role changing under Tuchel and him becoming more of a number 10?
Now, this is the thing. If you look at Ziyech and compare him to Di Maria, they are both very similar players in their playing style. They never use their right foot, and their left foot is pretty much magical. So once Tuchel actually came in, I was like, this guy is going to be our Uncle Di Maria. And apparently things have happened. They have crashed with each other in training. But to be fair, I think once we can play, we can move on from this whole 3 at the back and move on to a 4 at the back. And if Ziyech if he's strong mentally and actually shows that he cares and doesn't act like a prat in training and stuff, I think he has a chance, because in the future, as I said, I think Hudson-Odoi will move on to the left side. So he will play on the left, even if I don't know if it's gonna be a 4-4-2 and he's gonna be on the a left mid or like a left winger, but still. And then I think that Ziyech, if he has a great mind and doesn't just acts professional in training and all that with the manager and staff and the players, I think that he definitely has a chance on the right in the future. So as I said, like a Di Maria. But about the Spurs game, this is the thing. Sorry. I think the Spurs are gonna. This is the thing too. And Ndombele is a baller. In my opinion, he's world class. Him being out, that's huge for us. Because let's be real. He wants to play against Kovacic and Jorginho. Because he will ease through them. He will ease through them. And now he isn't there. And Kane's not there either. And we all know how Mourinho works. He will play a very, very deep block. And I don't want to see one striker for that, because it's hard for a striker when you play against a deep block and you have 3 to 5 center backs players marking you in the box. I want to see actually. I don't think this is going to happen yet, but I think that we shouldn't waste. Jay, I swear, I don't think we should waste defenders, to have 3 defenders. I think we shouldn't do that, because I think that we will have so much ball. So instead of having an extra defender for no reason, I think we should have an extra attacker. So I think Van is going to start. But then if it is Giroud or Tammy as the other striker, I don't care. As long as we have 2 strikers. Because especially for Werner, and he's not in good form at all, it's really hard for him to play good by being a lone striker and a deep block, especially with the new league and everything. It's very hard for him to do that, and it will be hard for him. So, and especially if you have Ziyech, get Giroud or Tammy in. Let's get Giroud in. He loves to go against Spurs. And my sound, oh my days, give me a second, I've had enough. Give me a second, yeah. Sorry, I just Apple, it's a scam, you know.
Apple's a scam, everyone. Apple's a scam. Haji, I just wanted to say.
Should be better now, yeah.
I just wanted to say. So you're looking at
My
a
days.
change in formation.
Yeah, I'm so sorry for this, honestly. with headphones for £300, you would expect something different, you know. Yeah,
The audio sounds
let's go. Yeah,
Yeah. We can 100% hear you. Can you hear us now?
yeah. And the AirPods Pro, yeah, it's a scam. Yeah,
Brilliant,
whatever.
brilliant.
As I said, with Ziyech playing, I think that you should have Giroud on top, because we all know that here, what's his name? Ziyech can hit those amazing balls. And even if what's his name? Alonso is on the left, we all know that this guy can come in from nowhere and just head the ball. As you said against Burnley, the guy was actually in the box a couple of times and headed the ball. And with Ziyech's foot and with having Giroud and Alonso coming in from the left, that will create some mayhem for the defensive Tottenham. Sure. So this is the thing. It's all about Hakim Ziyech having a great mind, being cool, keep working hard, don't be a prat, as I said earlier, and just you know what, just be yourself and work hard, because this is the thing. Pulisic will get injured, that's for sure. That is just how it is, yeah. So he will get his chance. And as I said, he has had Di Maria. He has worked with Di Maria for a while, and they aren't too different. Like I said, they're pretty similar. So it's all about Ziyech. It's all about Ziyech being professional, and don't let things like his head get to him, pretty much. So yeah, I think.
So would you play a different formation here? Is that what I'm trying to get from here? Because I think you were saying that you'd play with just the natural sort of four at the back with the full backs. Is that how you'd play against Spurs and go away from the 3-4-3 situation?
I mean, this is the thing. Yeah, we have a really difficult schedule now with games. There's some really good team playing. So I can't see us having that time to change the formation and try something new. But I actually think that this, my guy, I actually think that this is a perfect opportunity for us to try something new, because Tottenham without Kane, they're just you know the chicken on the badge. They're literally that, yeah. and without and you know the chicken stands on a ball, yeah. And without it's just a chicken. The ball disappears.
There is no ball.
Yeah, there is no ball.
We're going to pluck that chicken, mate.
And without Kane, it's a headless chicken.
Yeah, exactly. So the thing is, try something new. This is the perfect game. I would love him to play a four at the back, play two strikers, play a 4-4-2. Just try something different. Because
so let's set this up, Haji. So you were saying let's play 4-4-2, yeah?
Yeah.
So basically, what you would do is let's just bring.
And then Reece James has to play, of course. Then, if that's the case.
So you're looking at something like this.
Yeah. Exactly. I would love that.
And Ziyech over here, is that what you're saying? Ziyech more here?
I would play Ziyech over there, and I would play Hudson-Odoi on the left, actually. Because I think that Hudson-Odoi is a lot better on the left. So if we do this, and you know that we will keep possession of the ball, yeah? And
who's your strikers, just quickly? Tammy and?
I'm biased. Yeah, Werner.
I know it's going to be Tammy, that's for sure. Tammy and Giroud, yeah?
No, don't do that, yeah? Don't do that, yeah? No. That's no. We need to have Sonic, yeah? Play. Play. What's his name? Oh, I can't remember his name. Sonic. Werner. Have Werner as
and Tammy.
Yeah,
team of Werner and Tammy.
Yeah. Because
so something like that.
No, you know what, I'm biased. Let's go for it. So yeah, I would have this, yeah. And I can't see Tammy have back-to-back bad games. So he's going to score, yeah. And then I would have Reece James as right back. And this is the thing. It's hard to drop Alonso after the things he did.
But Alonso is poor as a left back, bro.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't care if Jay or Jan disagree. This is my thing, yeah. Put Chilwell back, yeah. Put my boy back.
Put the boy back. Chile is back.
This is the thing, yeah. Chilwell knows if I don't perform, I won't start. So he was like, and Alonso performed last time. This is a big game against Spurs. Let me perform. He will have that motivation. Same thing with Tammy. They will be hungry for this game, yeah? They're going to put up a good performance. And then you have Jorginho and Kovacic in midfield, I suppose. Let's be
Bro,
real.
this team is gonna get counted hard.
No,
This
calm
team
down.
is
Yeah.
gonna-
No, it's calm. No, Kante.
What?
No,
This team is so weird.
oh, this guy. Calm down. So you have Kante a little bit deeper now. Listen. Listen.
me.
Oh my days. No. You need to listen to me, Jay. Yeah. This is the tactical master stuff for me.
I would back my ball knowledge over yours, Hidji. I can't.
No.
Let's listen to it because I'm going to come back to you and see how you counter this. Yeah, go on,
exactly.
Haji. Go on, Haji.
On the TV trusts me, yeah. This is the thing. Don't listen to Jay. Everything, like every discussion we had from the day we started, I've won to this day. So this is the thing. And let's be real. Oh my days, that's this guy. So you will have Rüdiger and Silva at the back, yeah. And you will have Kante sitting back a little bit more. And I think that Chilwell will be a little bit further back. Listen, this isn't Lampard anymore. Like this, go out and express yourself. Nah, that's done, yeah. Those days are over. So Reece James will be a little bit higher up. Chilwell will be a little bit further down. Kova will be a little bit higher up. And Kante will be a little bit further down. So we won't get counter-attacked like that, especially because Rüdiger is fast. So and this is the thing with Son, yeah. Son he scores his 10, 12 goals, then the guy disappears like every season, yeah. Yeah. So Bale just want to play golf nowadays. Kane isn't there. Bergvin is just shit basically. So and Lucas is average. So we're good in counterattacks, yeah. And then you see that team, yeah. You see that team. They're gonna pepper top them, yeah. We're gonna humiliate them.
Bro, this team scares me. This team has got a lot of firepower. I'm not gonna lie.
No, it's calm.
That team is gonna get counted.
No, it's calm. Listen, it's calm.
I can't believe there's so much space at the back.
It's calm. No, this guy. Listen, we have Thiago Silva, yeah. This isn't Christensen anymore. This is Thiago Silva. He made Rüdiger look good, yeah. Rüdiger has the pace too. It's calm. I'm telling you, it's calm.
But, okay, Haji, do you think these players, Chile, has the discipline to not bomb up and just stay? Yeah, do you think Kante has the discipline to just sit?
Yeah. Let me tell you this. I actually researched a little bit about Tuchel. And when he attacked a lot, he had
very little bit.
Listen, he had a DM staying back, the center backs, of course, and one of the full backs. So they were the one. In difference with Frank, he only had a DM and 2 defenders. He has an extra player, yeah, and against a shit Tottenham attack. Let's be real, yeah. Apart from Son, if he has a good day. So, and they need to be worried about our attack, yeah. They need to be worried about our Reece James crosses. That's no joke. And as I told you, Tam is never gonna drop a back-to-back stinker. This guy's gonna be hungry, you know. He's gonna pepper Tottenham, yeah. Rodon, Eric Dyer, yeah. Eric Dyer. Nah, they're crap, yeah. Respect us, yeah. This is Chelsea football.
I love this. Vibes football.
Yeah, they're scared of us, yeah. They're shitting themselves, you know, now. Lynn Turkish tricky blues are coming, yeah.
I gotta say though, Haji, one thing about Spurs is right now defensively, the way Jose sets up, like they sit deep, and Jose thinks that he's got prime Eric Dyer and Rondon and whoever else he's got, Alderweireld. These guys are not capable of keeping a clean sheet over 90 minutes. They're just leaking too much. But going to Jay now, Jay, I want you to talk me through this Haji's lineup, bro. What's going on here? Where can Spurs take us off to me, Jay?
Look.
What is going on here, bro?
I have to stream every game on the Chelsea social channel with this guy. Sometimes I just question what's going on. Like,
get out of here.
Firstly, okay, right. Go look at the bottom right. Look how much space there is behind Reece James.
Can't discover that yet.
But I don't think Silva has the legs to get Son.
He does not have the legs.
It's calm. His positioning is very close.
Silva being, outstanding. I think there will be times due to Son's ability where he'll get the better of a defender. I think that's just part of the way it is. I understand Kante being there, but Kante hasn't played a lot recently. And plus, he might not be the most functional pivot because they're quite similar and both like to go forward and backwards, which is might cause a bit of trouble.
Basically, this is what happens.
I think that's what happens, and that leaves you exposed. I actually
No. It won't be
I
like
think
that.
Hudson-Odoi is better on the right.
No, he isn't. No. This you see that this is what I'm saying. This guy's coming from me, you know. Hudson-Odoi is a pure left winger. Yeah, he's a left winger. Don't listen to Jay. Yeah. Oh my days. We're gonna see in the future, innit? We're gonna see it. So
Hudson-Odoi gets far more assists than he does goals. And he's stronger on his right foot, which suggests to me he's better off the right because he's able to link up with players that way. He doesn't trust his left foot, so cutting off the right is something he needs to work on. But throughout his entire career, his creative numbers have been far superior to his direct goal output. So he's not actually scoring anywhere near as much as he's assisting or creating chances, which makes me think he might be better on the right-hand side. He's more industrious than Ziyech, so he's able to get backwards and forwards. Plus, this lineup doesn't have Kai Havertz in, which I think is maybe an issue.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about him, you know.
Yeah, of course you forgot, mate, because your ball knowledge is weak. So
get out of here, man. I've been right every single time, yeah? You have never been right.
If we're playing a back four, I don't play Rudiger. I play Zuma.
Ding, ding, ding,
But that won't happen. Let's be real.
Let's set this up now. If we're playing the back four, and let's have Jay's side.
I don't think I'd play. I think I'd keep to the way that we're playing anyway, with the sort of slightly inverted 3-4-3. I just think in a back four, Rudiger might not be the strongest there because he needs perhaps two centre-backs around him and extra cover because he's so prone to lapses. It's not really ideal.
Yeah.
I like the idea of a Tammy Werner top two. I actually think that's an intelligent piece of design. I'm just not sure the Spurs game is the most ideal game to be playing that pairing. And equally, you touched on it with Alderweireld and Joe Rodon and Sanchez and whoever else they play at the back. Despite their lack of pace, I think if we were to consistently play balls into the box, those guys are strong in the air, and I really don't see that as the wisest option. Plus, typically Tuchel plays low crosses.
Yeah.
So that's why I think Cho's good on the right, because he's able to play those low balls in, whereas Ziyech off the right is going to hook the balls in over the top. And again, I don't know if that's the best idea. So that's why, Hajir, I don't want to seem to directly criticise Hajir because I'm not, but I just think that lineup.
You do that every day. What do you mean? You do it every day.
There's issues in that lineup that means that despite, Lucas being underwhelming compared to, Lucas is very similar to Willian in my opinion.
Yeah,
Bale not regular minutes. Son, I think, is world class. And No and Ndombele, we're going to be ball dominant. I think we should. There's just too much open space in that formation, and I totally believe in Mourinho. Despite the players he has, he'll be able to put together a swift counter attack. And if we have no midfield cover, and let's face it, Kante can do that, but he does like to be a bit more box to box, and Kovacic doesn't do that too often. He tackles in the opposition half, but not too much in the defensive half for us. That's why I'd keep the three at the back, keep the structure, keep it tight. I like Hudson-Odoi on the right. He's getting minutes. He's good at creating. He's good at assisting. He's good at linking up with players there. And I personally think that might be a better way of doing things. And if we keep a Jorginho Kovacic midfield, I don't mind too much. I just think that allows you to keep the ball, move it side to side and stretch Tottenham and then try and create chances through Hudson-Odoi or Werner or Pulisic or Tammy, whoever's playing. Have no issue there. But I just don't think Ziyech can play there. I think Havertz is going to get minutes. I imagine he will start. And I reckon that, how we had it maybe 30 minutes ago, when we are, defending, we're so compact that there's no space in between. And what we struggled with Lampard is there was too much space and we were just getting overrun in certain positions, and that just was far from ideal. So I would keep it quite similar to the way that we've been playing, and I imagine Tuchel will switch up throughout the game. But in a back three, Zuma's not going to play.
I mean, looking at this formation straight away, boys, you can see that there's not space. This allows us to be so much more compact. I mean, look, Haji, I definitely like the 4-4-2 where you've created. It's something that we should be progressing towards. But right now, defensively, I don't have the confidence in some of our players to be disciplined. And I think this formation allows us to be far more resolute. Do you know what I mean? Like,
but miss, you know, this is the thing, yeah. This is the thing. We're gonna do that. What the thing I've said soon, either way, yeah. We're gonna do it either way, and I don't want to see this three at the back thing the whole season. This is the thing, yeah. Even though Tottenham's attack defense is bad, they will be incredible against us because it's just us, yeah. We can't use that because that's too defensive. That's way too defensive. It will be a lot harder to break their team down by having that. By having a 4-3-3.
We're not using the three at the back as defensive. You've seen Aspilicueta overlapping.
I know, but this is the thing. Tuchel, yeah, he went to the Champions League final. He didn't play a 5 at the back. The way I set up defensively on wait, this guy. It's literally the way I've watched plenty of videos of him, of tactical, all of this, yeah. That's literally how he sets back when he attack. He had one of the fullbacks down, 2 center backs, and 1 DM, and then that is how he sets up for counter attacks. Yeah, and he has done it during his whole PSG time. Now this guy telling me I'm wrong, but it's literally a fact that he has done exactly this, and they took him to the Champions League final. And if Mbappe didn't play like Werner in the final, they would have won the game.
Lad, I said at the start that Tuchel uses between 9 and 11 formations in his side. I don't think you're wrong to say that we'll use a 4-4-2, no matter how fluid it is. I totally agree with you there. I personally just believe that against Spurs, and that the just how important this game is, considering we're on the same amount of points, and the way that things are going, and the connections in the side at the moment. Currently, with the way we're playing, it seems unlikely that we're going to see a dramatic shift straight away.
Yeah, that's what I want. Yeah.
I see a shift coming perhaps against Barnsley, where we can try something.
Yeah, it's not something new. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Never mind. Forget everything I said. We have Barnsley. Yeah. Forget everything I said. Yeah. Forget the lineup, the players, everything. Yeah. I didn't know that. Yeah. I didn't know that. Then that's calm. If we can try that against Barnsley, then never mind. Never mind. Yeah. Never mind.
Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is?
I want to bring you in. Yeah, go on.
Do you know what it is? I mean, come on. We played against Wolves. We played against Burnley that are going to set up or set up as Tottenham will set up to an extent, right? And what I mean by that is they're going to sit deep. They're going to absorb all they can and try and counter-attack us. Tottenham more so than Wolves and Burnley. But this formation, or the way we set up in those two games, worked. So I don't see why we would change anything now. I mean, we dominated possession. I think we averaged like 75% possession over 2 games. It might not be as high as that, but with that possession, we were making things happen. Maybe not as much as we'd like to in the first game, but considering he only had 1 training session to get that right, that was decent. We improved against Burnley, and hopefully we'll carry on that trend and improve against Tottenham in an attacking 100%. Sense. So I think we have to go with a similar setup, surely.
I can't believe this is on the internet now. Nah, it's gonna be here forever. Yeah, Jay has stunned me. Yeah.
Look, Haji, I don't think it will be a forever thing, but I think he looked at the characteristics of the players that we currently have, and he probably feels this is a good way to start off, I suppose. And guys, let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section. Just quickly, we've got 85 people turned on at the moment. Please smash that like button. Get the likes to at least 80 likes. That'd be great. And keep the comments coming. Obviously, this is one Haji gets a lot in every stream. He does get Emre Can, but Haji looking like Sami Khedira. I can't lie. I think he kind of does a little bit like Sami Khedira. Emre Can is probably not that close, but Sami Khedira is definitely close. But boys, it's somewhere in between. Yeah, somewhere in between.
Have you seen that comment, Mitch, from that Jay guy?
That's you, yeah.
Oh, Jay McIntosh.
That's you.
That G guy has no idea what's going on about.
Emre Khedira over there.
Oh my days. Nah.
This is turning out to be jokes. Guys, hopefully you guys are all enjoying this tactical talk. I want to now go to Jam. Let's bring you in, because the last one that I want to talk about here in this formational sort of conversation is the role of Timo Werner. I feel like Timo was a bit disappointing against Burnley. Look, one thing I can't fault him is his work rate. He works, and works hard. Gets into very, very good positions in and around here, sort of inside the box. But he just sort of snatches onto opportunities. But I must admit, this formation that we're playing right now, somewhat sort of like this, overlapping on the right side. Let's say he plays along with Tammy. He also has a free role alongside Mason Mount, where sometimes I see him on the left, sometimes I see him on the right. I think it suits him to play with someone like Tammy Abraham, a focal point, and then having the likes of Mason Mount to sort of link up with him helps him out a lot. Is that how you sort of see to get the best out of Timo Werner as opposed to playing somewhere here?
Yeah, he needs to be more central. I mean, he likes to pull out, which is good. He has the freedom to do that, but he needs to be getting these chances. And the funny thing is, on the weekend, he mishit a ball that came in from the right, where he did actually pull off the front line. And, if he's on form, if he's on song, he puts that.
I think it was somewhere here, right? I think he pulled out right here, and the ball came through, and he missed the shot. Yeah,
exactly. And then do you remember his goal against Tottenham in the League Cup as well? It was literally that.
It was he.
Exactly. The funny thing is, for me, I mean, my preference is I'd actually like to see Timo roaming less, because I think he tries to get involved in the play a lot in pointless areas, considering the end goal and considering the players that we have in the pitch. And what I mean by that is sometimes he comes short and his touch isn't there, and we end up kind of losing possession, or the pass isn't great. It just didn't need to happen. I think if he just roams around and has less touches of the ball and just roams around whoever he's playing up front with or behind or whatever the formation, and just concentrates on getting in the box, I think he gets goals. I think he'll get more chances like he did on the weekend. So I to be honest, I like how he plays with someone else up front, because I think it gives him the license to perhaps make runs in behind, when the attention might be on the other striker. So it might be like a third man run kind of thing. And I think it gives him the freedom to sometimes be unmarked, like we saw on the weekend, where the ball's cut back to him so he can get a shot on goal like that. Let's be honest, he just needs a goal. And then I can call him Dash from the Incredibles again, because I miss calling him that nickname, I do. When this guy came, I was gassed. I made like 3 videos or something. Like 3 videos. I was talking about his finishing. He likes to hit the ball low and hard. Like I compared him to Wayne Rooney in that sense. I feel like I've got egg on my face at the moment, but he just look. What I liked about Tuchel is he came in and he dropped him straight away, didn't give him a minute, and that's what Lampard didn't do. I feel like that had to shock him into something. I feel like if you're sitting on the bench and you think this isn't fun, you're going to try and change something.
That game would have been difficult for him against Wolves, because Wolves were just all the way back. Timo wouldn't have had any space.
Yeah, absolutely. And then he would have dropped deep to try and get involved, and things wouldn't have happened for him, just as they haven't been for the last few months. So for me, if he could stay on the last shoulder a little bit more, just hang around there with a strike partner, or someone that's more of a focal point up front, I think he'll get more joy in this team. So I actually think the formation suits him.
No, absolutely. Let's now slowly wrap this up. Obviously, we've talked about Tuchel's formation, what he's been using so far. Hopefully, everyone sort of got a bit of a kick out of that. Obviously, with Hajir's interesting 4-4-2, that's something to look forward to down the track, perhaps. But let's now go around the room here. Jay, this formation that Tuchel's playing, obviously, I feel like he will continue for the interim. But down the track, you are someone who, as you said, and I know I've talked to you like for maybe 2 years now, maybe a year and a half. You watch a lot of Bundesliga. You've seen a lot of Tuchel previously as well. Where do you sort of see this, the kind of formation, the style that we're playing with the kind of characters that we have till the end of the season? How do you sort of see this developing as the weeks go by, or do you sort of see it kind of being like this for the time being?
Yeah, I see it like this for the time being. To be honest with you, I think it's just going to be. I think it's going to be completely fluid. I think there's going to be no set way of playing. There's going to be no guaranteed starters necessarily, maybe besides the goalkeeper and Thiago Silva.
Yeah.
He adapts his game to every team. He researches. He knows what he's doing, and I think people need to be prepared to see a lot of things chopping and changing because, whilst we had the conversation about formation just then, Hajir was right in the sense that it's just about when you choose to make these changes and when you try something different, you have to do it at the right time. Otherwise, you just look ridiculous. And Tuchel has made a career off of making changes and adapting at the correct time. But for now, I think the sort of back three, the auxiliary back five will probably stay just because we need steady results and we need to slowly improve because the top four race is not actually done because the top four race now kind of involves like 9 teams. So I think we just need to be patient and expect fluidity, but the 3 at the back will probably stick around for the time being, I reckon.
Yeah, no, I also agree as well. Haji, just to you to get some final words. I know you're not very much keen on the 3 at the back. It kind of annoys you. I get that. But that 4-4-2 or the trial whatever version that you showed us. The one thing I do want to question you though, just as your final piece, that midfield of Kova Kante. Sure,
I don't.
You're not convinced with that.
I don't want that. I want Kante and Mount, but I'm trying to be a little bit. I want to be a little bit realistic. That is why I used them. Same with Rüdiger. I want Zuma to play, but I think, as I said, that formation we're going to use that sometime in the future. That is going to happen. And I am a fan of the 3-4-3, but I just think I just know that Tottenham is going to have the defenders going to have the game of their life on Thursday. And I want to have I want to have a little bit more attacking threats in the box. Hence why I want to take away one defender and put an attacker in the box instead, another one. That is why I wanted to do that. And especially I've watched Tuchel so much in his Ousmane Dembele days in Dortmund and PSG. So I've seen him use this formation a lot. That is why I want us to use it, but maybe this isn't the time to use it. But to be fair, if both Kane and Ndombele are out, I would actually use it. Yeah, let's go for it because I think that we can do some real damage with that formation if both Kane and Ndombele aren't playing. Yeah,
against Wolves, there was a moment I think Callum Hudson-Odoi was on as well, Ziyech, Havertz, and whoever the striker was, and Pulisic came on instead of Chilwell. So that formation with the wing-backs allows for Callum to sort of shift to the right side and shift to the left side and Pulisic to the right side, basically them being the wing-backs. So I felt that was quite interesting, although that's probably not going to be... That's probably not going to be something he tries throughout the match. But what you said in regards to having more attacking threat, the wing backs could be used in that manner. Jam, final words from you, man. Are you sort of content? I think you're more or less content with the formation. I know there's a lot of people in the timeline whenever they see the lineups coming out lately. I mean, they want to be positive for the new manager, but I'm not going to name names. There are a few people that have been like, "Oh, not Alonso again," or not Azpilicueta again. Where's my Reece James? I need a bit of Reece James. What's the message for you for those sort of people?
Do you know what? Everything that's happened before aside, we all support Chelsea. We want Chelsea to win. We want the best for Chelsea. Look, Alonso's back again, isn't he? You can't get away from this guy. You can't outrun destiny. When he's playing left wing back, he's decent, and we have to appreciate that. Look, I wasn't an advocate for him, but he's come in and done a job immediately. So he's functional. He works. Rudiger as well. Rudiger, he's playing. Let's be honest, because he's got that diagonal switch.
Hasn't made any mistakes last 2 games. So
yeah, exactly. And in a formation like this, when you've got Hudson-Odoi getting chalk on his boots as wide as he is, that is actually a really dangerous weapon if he gets it right. Yeah. So actually, there is a reason that he's playing, and that's one of them. That's actually quite functional when we're on the ball. So again, Rudiger's had his part to play. Again, people know I haven't been the biggest advocate of Rudiger. I've called him Bobo the Clown on several occasions and still haven't forgiven him for what he did at West Ham away last season. I still haven't forgiven him for that. But look, they can come in and do a job. So what we need to do is we need to back Tuchel and know that he's doing the best thing he's doing what he thinks is best for the team to get a win. There's no reason why he wouldn't do that. And actually, the evidence is from the first 2 games that it is functional, it is working. The players seem to have renewed energy. So why don't we have a bit of positivity going into the game against Spurs, against a team that have lost their last 2 games in a row, in the last week, actually. They lost to Brighton, who got their first home win in like 20-odd games. Brighton have only won at home in 2019, 2020, and 2021. 3 times, one in each year, by the way. And Tottenham have lost to them. Yeah? Tottenham have lost to them.
Brighton's actually been touching. They've been touching the Spurs quite a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Every time they like to touch Spurs. So, Spurs are not they're not confident. They haven't got form at the moment. So we should be going into this game positive, looking forward to it, licking our lips. And I've actually got a funny tweet coming out later, so I'm just plugging myself there. So keep an eye out for that later on. But look, I think we're going to beat Spurs. I think we have to. We must. In fact,
I think we have a bit too much as well now, with no Kane for them, and Ndombele, and maybe no Reguilon. And also a message that I want to give out, guys. Obviously, what Jam said, just to piggyback off that, and Jay, what he said as well. You may not see Mason Mount every game, and don't get upset about that. I know a lot of people in the timeline, whenever they don't see Mason Mount, they get very, very upset that he's, so far the player of the season and so on and so forth. Honestly, just back the gaffer on this one, because this gaffer knows what he's truly, truly doing. He's experienced, he knows what's going on, and he's going to try and get the best out of the team with everyone that he has. Guys, that pretty much wraps us up. Once again, thank you to the boys. 121 people logged on. Please smash that like button right now. Take that opportunity to hit that like button. Get that likes at least up to 80, if not 100. And hope each and every one of you guys enjoyed this particular stream, tactical analysis from the boys. Hopefully we gave you guys a little bit more insight into the 3-4-3 that Tuchel's been using, or 3-2-3-2, or whatever the case is. And hope everyone's enjoyed this. Chelsea Social, guys. Chelsea Social is the group over here. Their information's in the description. Please subscribe to them. They're very, very close to 1,000 subscribers. Thank you to each and every one of you guys. I've just hit 3,000 as well, just recently. So thank you for that. So all of my subscribers, please go in and smash that subscribe button for Chelsea Social, and do look out for their watch-alongs, which are absolutely taking off at the moment, which is very, very good. So guys, until next time, everyone, take care and have a very, very good day. See ya.